What up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 7. So if you haven't seen Episode 7 of Season 11 of Married to Medicine, turn this video off and go watch the episode. And come back and watch this video. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. It's a simple, free, anonymous way to support my channel. It's the best way you can support my channel. I'm not a public speaker. I will tend to fumble my words and say and so and like 1,000 times. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. I'm going to definitely be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. Anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. Comment below what you would grade this week's episode, what you thought about this week's episode. If there's something that I forget or I'm off on or I leave out, or you have a difference of opinion or just an opinion in general, comment below. Yeah, I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I'm going to grade this week's episode a B+. This episode was good. I liked the whole Med Gala event of it all. It was entertaining. We got to see some old cast members, some new cast members. So, yeah, I enjoyed the episode. We got most of the whole cast this episode, the husbands and the wives. We got some little funny moments. So, yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Probably better than Real Housewives of Potomac, and they was in Panama. But, yeah, I liked this episode, so I'm going to give it a B+. Yeah, Last Chance, Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 7. If you haven't seen it, turn this video off so you don't get any spoilers. Ooh. Dang, God, burp, but it won't burp. Okay. So, this episode begins, we know they give us these little short filler scenes in the beginning, but, you know, they don't really be doing anything. So Dr. Jackie, Simone, and Cecil, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Cecil are all in the car. Apparently, everybody's headed to Heavenly's son graduated and is going to dental school, so she's throwing him a dinner, so everybody's headed to Heavenly's lake house. So, you know, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie are talking about Dr. Simone's son, Michael, turning 22. And apparently, Dr. Jackie is the one that delivered Michael and gave him his circumcision. Which I was like, okay. I mean, I knew Simone and Jackie went way, way back, but, like, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure they brought it up before. I just forgot, you know. So, Jackie then tells Simone about her meeting with Phaedra for the Met Gala, and she mocks Phaedra. He's like, child, do you know Phaedra, this child? Like, basically saying Phaedra has been no help. So, in a separate car is Quad, Phaedra, and Quad's new man, King. And Quad is telling Phaedra that Jackie said that she said she's nervous about Phaedra's participation. You know, Quad in that country voice. But basically saying Phaedra ain't doing shit, she ain't done shit. Phaedra says in her confession that the only reason Jackie wanted to do the Met Gala was to clean up the mess that she had made last season when she said those things about black women and them being dramatic in the when it comes to healthcare or whatever the case may be on Dr. Heavenly's podcast, whatever it was. I'm trying to remember who did the Met Gala last year. Was it I think it was Dr. Damon, wasn't it? And Heavenly, did they do the Met Gala last year? I don't remember. But I guess people just decided they want to do it because Jackie just did it or whatever. So, they go back and forth a little bit between the cars, but they go back to Jackie and Simone, and Jackie tells Simone that Heavenly has stepped up and has really been helping her a lot with the Met Gala. Besides Phaedra has. Because Phaedra hasn't. So everybody arrives to Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon's lake house. Of course, Contessa and Scott and Sweet Tea and Gregory aren't there. This is when King gets to meet some of the guys in the group. Eugene, Damon, Cecil. Toya's being messy, asking Quad how she got the Rolls Royce out of King. And, you know, Simone's in her confessional talking about it was Superhead. And Heavenly's like, well, we all know how Quad got that Rolls Royce. She's like, well, maybe I'm not doing something right because I ain't get a Rolls Royce. So downstairs with the guys, Damon's basically giving King some insight on the dynamic of the group of men and the dynamic of the group of women, and how they try to keep things separate, but not lately. So Toya then expresses to the group that she didn't enjoy the glamping trip. She turns to Phaedra. She tells Phaedra, "You contestant Sweet Tea can't plan no more trips. I didn't enjoy it." She was like, "I enjoyed the location, but a lot of the trip people weren't getting along." And then Toya says in her confessional that she don't like how Contessa and Sweet Tea have basically been excluded from the group. But you gotta remember, Contessa is a friend of, so she ain't gonna be in every damn scene anyway. But Sweet Tea, she makes a point. She makes a point. It's crazy how last season was all about Sweet Tea. Now we barely seeing Sweet Tea this season. So Toya then tells Heavenly that she should apologize to Contessa for the mama comment when they got into it. And Heavenly's like, well, I don't want to make no promises and don't keep them like Phaedra. And then she brings up how Jackie told her, well, Jackie feels like Phaedra hasn't been helping at all with the whole Met Gala, and she's supposed to be co-chair. And Simone then announces, well, Heavenly now is co-chair of the Met Gala. And Phaedra's like, well, that's fine. She's like, and then they say something about raising the 100K, and Phaedra's like, well, I'm not gonna let you bitches like y'all act like I'm not gonna do what I said I ain't gonna do. And all of them like, bitches like, who bitches like us? And then Simone and Jackie, I was like, clock that, because when they was in the confessional, they was like, bitches like us. You mean bitches that went to med school and got the same income as you and are educated? Like, what you mean bitches like us? Because I was like, how you trying to check them? They are doctors and doctors' wives. Like, I was just like, Phaedra, girl, you could tell she was in her feelings. Like, girl, if you ain't been doing nothing, how you gonna get mad that they saying that you ain't doing nothing? So all the women do agree to give $2,500 to start. Jackie's like, well, we need to ask Contessa and Sweet Tea too. And Toya's like, no, why would you do that? Well, like, basically, y'all excluding them from the group, but y'all want them to give some money up. That's like last season that's like at the beginning of the season when a Real Housewives of Potomac, if you watch it, where Giselle and Ashley had that event and Jazzy and them showed up and they got kicked out, but they went out there with the clipboard and still tried to get them to donate. Like, what? No. So Phaedra then resigns as co-chair. She's like, I'm no longer involved myself in the Met Gala. It's just like, okay, Phaedra. And I'm like, Toya, you want to see what makes Phaedra tick? That right there made Phaedra tick. She said, I want to know what makes you tick. So in this next scene, Phaedra has Sweet Tea over and fills her in on what happened at Heavenly's dinner. Tells her about Jackie saying that she's not doing anything. And then, Sweet Tea shares her feelings about how Jackie never holds Heavenly accountable for the things that she says and does. And it's just like Heavenly's a grown woman. Why does she, even though Jackie could speak up more, how do you think her speaking up more is going to change Heavenly in any way? Heavenly going to keep doing her every time, regardless if somebody comes say something to her or not. So Phaedra then tells Sweet Tea that Heavenly did say that she's willing to sit down and have a conversation with Contessa and apologize for the mama comment. And Sweet Tea, she's like, she don't like the fact that Heavenly's willing to have a sit down conversation with Contessa and not with her. And it's like, no offense, Sweet Tea, but Contessa and Heavenly have more seasons and they have more history. So of course she'd be willing to sit down. Contessa's older, no offense. So of course she's willing to have a sit down and talk with Contessa before you, unfortunately. But I feel where Sweet Tea's coming from too, though. So we get this little scene with Jackie's party planners basically giving her a walkthrough of the event of the space before it starts. And it looks really nice. Heavenly comes in. She's like, well, what did Phaedra do? And Jackie's like, well, she did. She brought in the auctions. And then Heavenly's like, party planner. What did Phaedra do? And the party planner changes the subject. I was just like, why, Heavenly? Why are you so messy? So as they get ready for the Met Gala, Quad, she asks King, if he's going to say anything to Greg. She's like, you going to say anything to my ex-husband? And King's like, no, why would I? Like, he's your past. And I'm just like, why would you even ask him something like that? Why? I mean, I get it's a show and you want to see what can shake, but it's just like... So the Met Gala event begins. We see some old faces. We see we see Anila and her husband, Dr. Kieran. I liked them. Her husband was a little kid. He was funny. We see Dr. Alicia, but we don't see her husband. Was it Dr. Kima, I think was his name? I don't remember. We don't see her husband. And then we get introduced to this new friend of... I didn't even realize she was going to be like on the show until they showed the preview for next week's episode. I was like, oh, she's going to be like a friend of or something. Because she's not holding she's not wearing a white jacket on the theme song, so... I'm assuming she's a friend of... I don't know whose friend of she's coming in as, but... She's a fellow psychiatrist, and her husband is a retired NFL player. I forgot what his name was. So, Contessa comes with her daughter, and she shares in her confessional that Scott didn't want to come because of the things that Heavenly has said about him. We don't know how true that is. It's just like, because he could have just came and just avoided her just like Sweet Tea and Greg did. And just like Contessa did. It ain't that big of a deal. Heavenly is in her confessional talking shit about Simone and Contessa and Sweet Tea's outfit. She said Simone ass looked like the... Did she say the Crypt Keeper? I can't even remember. And she said Contessa just be dressing for attention. She just be saying shit, and she's like, Damon, you don't have to keep squeezing my leg. I'm not saying nothing wrong. And Damon's like, you saying stuff wrong. I don't know how Damon do it. He a lot of patience. The man's a patient man. So we get this moment. Damon and Dr. Damon and Dr. Greg have a talk, and Damon, he tells Greg that he hates that what their wives. He said, what did he say? He hates that what their wives have said has affected the two of them. And he's like, even if our wives don't make up, he wants them two to be good. Which isn't really saying I'm sorry or I apologize. But I guess in a men's way, that's the best you're going to get out of Damon. And then Heavenly comes over there and she tries to pull him away. And Cecil's like, Heavenly, we having a good conversation right now. And Heavenly scurries away. And Damon tells tells Greg, I wasn't angry, I was just hurt. And it's just like, what was you hurt about? Because he said he didn't know if you would cheat or not. Like, people don't know people's actions and intentions. That shit still irritates me. Like, Damon, you expecting too much. I get it that y'all been friends, but you don't know, he don't follow your move every 24/7. He don't know what you out here doing that you could be doing. It's annoying talking about I was hurt. But all in all, Dr. Damon, Dr. Greg, they make up. And they hug it out. So Jackie, she then goes up on the stage with Phaedra. She's like, me and my co-chair, Phaedra. Still calling Phaedra co-chair, even though Phaedra decided to opt out of it. And then Heavenly comes up there, grabs the mic, bombards her way on stage as well. So, Jackie basically explains what the charity is that they're raising money for Kira, for moms, and we were introduced to the founder of the organization who lost his wife to childbirth. So that's why he started the organization in the first place. So then they bring Dwight up. Y'all know who Dwight is. Fashion with no fashions. How dreadful. You know who Dwight is. So they bring Dwight up on there to start the auction. The first item of the auction is a trip to Morocco with no airfare included. No airfare included. And they talking about some 4K. We're going to start the bidding at $4,000. Just because these people are doctors, they think that they just going to be donating money out the ass. You got to remember, these are black doctors. They not just going to spend money on dumb shit. The white doctors probably would have just been in their bed and just throwing away money. But no. These is black people. So they get the 4K. And you know, when you bidding, I mean, when you're doing an auction, the bid is supposed to go up and up. These bids were going down, which I thought was hilarious. Because it's just like, we're supposed to be going up in bids, and they was going down. So they like, well, 4K, 3K, do I hear 2,500? I'm just like, what the fuck? So somebody does end up bidding. I think it went down to 1,500 or something. Contessa ended up bidding, but then somebody bid it over, and I think it ended up going for 3K. The second item ends up being an old shot from Dr. Jackie. And Toya's like, right here. You know, she done already had one. And she causes the bid to go up higher. Yeah, some of the wives and husbands and stuff cause the bids to go up higher, basically. Then we had like 2 different Botox filler aesthetic packages being auctioned off by Dr. Kieran and another doctor. Quad offers a cooking class from herself for starting at $3,000, and I know that shit went down to like I forgot what it went down to. It went down to like $1,150. And Greg was like, nobody wants to pay $3,000 for her cooking. He was like, my wife's cooking, I paid $3,000. Sweet Tea was like, baby, stop lying. She was like, even I know. Who trying to pay $3,000 for a cooking class? You can go to free cooking classes. So the next item on the roster is a date with Phaedra, which they start at $4,000. This bitch heavily gonna talk about some damn Dr. Greg. So fucked up. Like, what are we doing? Like, she's so fucked up. Sweet Tea couldn't do nothing but just stand. Like, I be feeling sorry for Sweet Tea sometimes. Cause why would you do that? That's so petty. Like, to do at a charitable event. And then y'all still beefing. You making things worse. Talking about Dr. Greg. You ain't even speaking to this man, but you gonna do that funny ass shit. Heavenly's just wild, bro. So nobody's bidding 4K to date Phaedra. Nobody's bidding at all. So Phaedra then calls this guy up there, and he's like, you know, I done went on a date with Phaedra before, and he bids and he bids the 4K. And he's like, well, now that I done put up so much money, Phaedra gonna have to put out. And I'm just like, it's crazy. So 4K for a date with Phaedra. Then they auction off this glass bowl that Quad blew and made about a week ago with Heavenly. And I think Dr. Mimi's husband bids on it and gets it for 5K. And I'm just like, why did they even bid that off? I thought it was like a collection plate because they was going around putting money in it, but then somebody actually bought it. And I was just like, I can see if her husband bought it or something. I mean, not her husband, but Quad's boyfriend. I can see if he bid on it. It was just weird. So then they, you know, Jackie and them announced we about to go in the back and count the money. Jackie, Heavenly, and Phaedra come together, and Jackie tells them, you know, we raised about 53K, and Phaedra's like, oh, the 47K, I put up the rest. I put up the rest. No problem. Phaedra just didn't want to look like a fool because you said 100K. You shouldn't have had to put up no money. It should have been 100. It should have been 100K already, or at least 95 or something. You was so sure that you was gonna get 100K. So they write the check and they present the check to the owner of the charity, the 100K check. And I was like, okay. I mean, Phaedra did what she had to do not to look stupid. But yeah, that's how the episode ends. I think it was interesting, the whole Met Gala of it all, the reads by Heavenly, the funny moments by Heavenly, the auction bids were funny. It was a lot going on. Like, we got to see some old faces. Like, I miss Anila and her husband on it. It was funny. But yeah, I would give it a B+. It wasn't a bad episode. Like I said, in next week's episode, we get introduced more to Dr. Mimi. I think something else happens. I can't remember. I don't really remember what. Sweet Tea and Heavenly gonna get into it again. I think Contessa and Heavenly gonna get into it too. But yeah, we shall see. Those are my little thoughts and what have yous for this week's episode, and what I graded it. Comment below what you thought of the episode and what you would grade it. And if I forgot or was off on anything or left anything out, or you just have an opinion to make about the episode or what I said, comment below. Like and subscribe to the channel. We only did this for 20 minutes, so you can take 5 seconds to like and subscribe. It's the best way to help support my channel and Black content creation. It's free. It's anonymous. 5 seconds. No time at all. Just like and subscribe to please help my channel. Comment below. Thanks for watching this review, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.